Hello everyone, and welcome back to Mabinogi. Got to do my little salute thing here. And so, it's been a little while. When last we recorded, I had just finished up Generation 3, which was plenty of fun. And now, the question becomes, what are we going to do now? Well, there's a lot still to do here in what is, I guess you could call it Season 4 of the series. I would call it Generation 4, except as I've previously explained, and I can show you here, the story goes Gen 1, 2, and 3 for Advent of the Goddess, finishes up here, and then skips on to Generation 7. Generations 4, 5, and 6, from what I've been able to piece together from online sources and things, it was the introduction of Iria, the giants, and the elves. Not necessarily in that order, but something to that nature. So, what I would like to do, because now we're actually going to need to start using it, I want to grab Continent Warp, put it here on my bars here. And this will let us move to Uled, Belvast, or Iria. So, if we look here, we've got the main continent, Uled, here. We've got this little tiny island type thing, Belvast. And then we've got this big continent, Iria, over here. Now, Uled is, I guess, based off of Ireland, as this is all like Celtic mythology, or excuse me, Celtic mythology, as I've recently learned it is actually pronounced. And these are likewise just extra areas in the world, though their shape and things aren't necessarily inspired by, Ireland like Uled's is here. At least as far as I can tell. That said, before we go, I was going to Continent Warp, but then I remembered something. There's a few things that we need to do here before we get into doing things like, Iria and things like that. And one of those things is that I would like to kick up a couple of things here. This is Generation 9. So one of the things I went and did was I found the Sun-Touched, Frostbitten, and Storm-Charged pieces. These go to Generation 7. They're what actually unlocks them. Sometimes you can find them here on the auction house. Storm-Charged pieces. I'm looking to see if any of them are up here. Yeah, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead, grab another one of those, and you'll understand why I'm doing this in a minute. Neat. Okay. Frostbitten pieces. There we go. Let's see. Go ahead and receive this. Go ahead and receive this. Good. Alright. So the reason I'm grabbing a second set of each of these, the Storm Charged and the Frostbitten pieces, is because I have not actually done Generation 7 or 8 at all myself, because they're locked behind these pieces. And so my main character, Serene here, hasn't actually had any chance to do them at all. And what I would like to do is I would like to run it once on my main character, make sure that I understand what's going on in those quests. Before I do them here on this character. So that's why I went ahead and I grabbed those. Apparently Toka's doing something on her homestead. Nice. I got trolled. Oh, there we go. Nice little troll. It's like you can't actually get through there with the arrow keys. So you have to actually go through there with the thing. You start dropping things. Just stuff, probably. Random stuff. I'm going to go ahead and pause this episode for a moment. And we'll be back in just a few moments, so... Alright. We are back. That took like an hour. Got some stuff out of that little giveaway thing that Toko was doing there, which was great. Really nice, actually. Oh wait, I need to log off and log back in to remove the technique flashing. Got a lot of stuff. Several little outfits. Nothing really... Like, she wasn't giving out any, like, major items. It was just kind of, like, garbage she had. It was like, hey, if anybody wants this stuff, it's like, hey, outfits. You know? So it's like, if I go into here, I don't think I got anything here, but I got stuff here. Like, I got a couple of new outfits here. Like this one, this hat, the one I'm currently wearing, whoops, this one. I still need to pinkify many of these, like this one especially. This one I really want to wear, probably either on here or on my main, but I need to like dye it and stuff, because this green, not a big fan. So need to fix that up. But yeah, several little outfits that were nice. I tried to pick up all the school outfits because I like the school outfits. And of course we've got what I'm wearing now. So a couple nice little outfits. I've totally forgotten what it was I was doing beforehand because it's been like an hour. I do think I was planning to start the music stuff. I was gonna do music stuff. One thing I do want to do, because this takes forever, is I'd like to come up here and pick up the wine making skill, because it's actually stupidly easy to level, as I found out. It's only like the first couple levels that are even like remotely hard, and I'll show you what I mean over the course of the next few episodes. So I need to first, actually, I need to buy some wine ingredients. Before I do that, I did pick up the wine skill just now. Make wine once, okay. So that doesn't tell me anything other than that I need to get some, this is Eluned, this is the other one, I think. So let's pick up the Blago Noir, ferment wine, Eluned, start the aging process, and finish the aging process. And just like that, we now have a Grand Blago, which I can then just immediately discard. And we've learned winemaking, just like that. So now if you look here, it says make wine 10 times, make wine age 20 or higher, and read your first glass of wine, volume 1. So what we need to do is, we actually need to look at that again. 10. It was 10. I need 10. Actually, I keep hitting the wrong button. Trade. I need 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Because I need 10 wines and then 1 to age. And this is why I said it is stupidly easy. Because you don't have to even let it age or anything. But this is only part of why I said it's stupidly easy. I'll show you what I mean further. It won't be in this episode because we do have to age at least 1 to 20, which takes 1 day, 9 hours, and I think 36 minutes, if I remember right. Somebody has gone in and done all the math and stuff to figure it out, basically. I have extra grapes. Oh, these aren't even the right grapes. What the heck? Yeah, it's the Blago Noir grapes that I'm using. Okay, we can go ahead and start dropping these. Now we've done that, and we should have gotten... oh, I guess I still need to make 2 more wine. Did I not count the grapes correctly, or... I thought I picked up 10, or 11, rather. That's interesting. And that changes that. Because maybe I did miscount. Oh, maybe I bought maybe the reason I had these 2 that weren't the right one, maybe I bought 2 of the wrong type. Maybe that's what it was. Probably as I was clicking here, control left clicking, my mouse probably slid over to the Irans, which is why I had 2. Like 2 single Irans, which would make sense. There we go. And now we tell it to ferment the wine, and then we leave it. And just like that, we've now done the make wine 10 times, because that part's the super easy part. And now we have to wait for the wine to age 20 or higher, which means within 2 days we can come in, grab that. We do need to grab the first glass of wine book, which these books are not hard to find. They are right over here by Era. At your chef's cooking class, baking. So now we just go in here, we do a trade, and we look at here. And if you look, you can see your first glass of wine, Volume 1, your first glass of wine, Volume 2, Wine for the Everyman, Tin's Liquor Drop, and is that it? Yes, it is. Okay. So these 4 books, it looks like. Unless there's anything else I don't know about. But I don't think there is. If there is, it's probably part of her secret shop or something. In which case, I don't have access to that on this character, I think. That's a composing music theory. Yeah, I think I'm good. So, alright. So now we just read First Glass of Wine, Volume 1. Meow! Kitty. And you'll see that it puts us at 90 out of 140. You could just do the glass of wine and the wine aged 20 or higher, and not do the make wine, thus costing a little less. But it really doesn't matter that much, because just those two will get you to 100. The make wine gives you the extra 40, and that's why it's 140 there. But I'll show you guys in a later episode, not this one, more about that as we get into it. So cooking is also a skill that we're going to eventually need. Might as well go ahead and pick up the couple of books that she sells. There's an F. There's a F rank book, which is baking, and then there's the E rank book, which is simmering. So this one we need to read. Bada bing! There we go. And now we can drop it. Alright, so that gets us an automatic 50. Even if you do everything in cooking, you'll only get up to 60, which is why you need this to give you that extra 50. If you do that first, then you only have to get about 50 points in all of this to level yourself up. As for the best way to go about that, I'm not really sure. It's been a very long time since I've done it. It's probably something I'm going to focus on off camera. If I look up the Mabinogi wiki, it does tell you, like, this is the best item to make. But that is also just literally doing that over and over again. So, one thing we have to do, though, is Musicians of Erin. Louise mentioned something in his book, Erin's Musicians, that Neely is his student. I'd better ask Neely about this. 13 pages, really? Jeez. Alright then. I want Musicians of Erin by Louise. I once wrote a manuscript called The History of Music in Erin that was based on the colorful history of our ancestors who wrote beautiful music in Erin, combined with my personal study on the history of music in Erin. Reactions to the book varied greatly. Some people encouraged me, telling me that it was an organized, informative compilation of the history of music in Erin, while others found the book too difficult to follow. Despite my intentions, the book may have driven more casual fans away from music. In discussing this matter with my students, I came to the conclusion that I'll need to write a reference book that is designed to attract casual music fans and historians alike with simple, approachable language. This book is focused on putting the spotlight back on the historic composers that have left their mark in the rich history of music in Erin, especially on the stories of 3 composers. Thought of my writing doing more harm than good, and depicting musicians' enthusiasm for music has made me restless. I am deathly worried that I may have made the same mistakes that plagued the first one. I'm confident this book will help you and everyone else to pick it up to get a better understanding of our history of music. May everyone that reads this book be blessed with a sheer love for music as the 3 musicians shared in their lives. Lastly, I owe my sincere gratitude to my beloved student who's taken the time to compile and edit my book. Thank you, Neil. I think that's supposed to be Neely, Avken, and yeah. I think that's supposed to say Neely. Oh well. Corporal, god of music. Every discussion about the bands in Erin has to start with one name, and that is Corporal. There were bands before he came, but at the time when Partholons ruled Erin, the music was used merely to emphasize the story. There was little, if any, descriptions in the lyrics, and the songs were quite limited in general. When different people played the song would go through changes based on who was playing that day. That's when Corporal came in and changed everything. He was an incredible composer, a competent instrument player, and a beautiful poet. After mastering all the songs that were passed down before and after the Moitura War, he came up with the music scroll format that we use today, and a sharp view of society became the predecessor for socially conscious songs that followed after him. His songs based heavily on our shared life experience. His voice was a heavy yet natural bass, the sang of the history of the world. His playing exceeded that score and shook everyone by the core, and his songs are still revered today. This is why he's considered the god of music. The reason why he received so much respect as the god of music wasn't necessarily solely because of his musicality. Of course, his musicality was off the charts, but it was his ability to transcend songs from the regular role of music to that of a form of communication between people, with music as its language, as evidenced by his opposition of the traitor Brass, who made a deal with the Fomors. He was unafraid of correcting wrong to right, and was constantly doing everything he could to fight corruption and evil in the world. His life rings true to many of the bards today. The effect Corporal has on other musicians is so humongous that his genius musicianship contributed to raising the bar for future generations to come, while his unwavering faith in goodness gave everyone hope that the world could be changed through the power of music. After Corporal, music scores became prevalent, bringing people much closer to music. His legacy in the field of music is so daunting, musicians that no other musician that followed him could be compared to what he had done. Whoops. Even so, we still need to highlight a couple of instrumentalists. I think that's just supposed to say no other musician that followed him could be compared. That's weird. King of Strings, Avken. The Moitura War was a long series of painful encounters between the humans and the Fomors, but with the humans emerging victorious in the end, it had become one of the favored subject matters for most of the bards during that time. Since they were all discussing the same topic, but in different songs, the listeners began to compare the musicians to see who was better, and this in fact triggered the phenomenon where the people chose their favorite musicians based not on their individualities as people, but on how well and creative the song was written. That guy in the background is going nuts with his bus. I don't know who that is, but they're going nuts. Galiefte? They were going nuts with that bus. Avken was at the forefront of this new movement. Avken is considered the king of strings, who is capable of making sounds so pleasant and beautiful they are best described as utterly heavenly. His voice was so sultry and luscious that many women shed tears while listening to his voice. There's even a legend that his voice had been heard by a fairy, that the fairies wished to bring him to the land of fairies. Topic of choice for his songs was mainly that of war, and although the stories of the war had been passed down from generation to generation, the same couldn't be said about the emotional impact that he made on society during the same time. This is regarded as one of the greatest tragedies of our history. Avkin's music was testament to how important technique was, whether it was playing instruments or vocal performance. Many believe that it was this that had led to the development of as many disciplined music education courses as there are today. Wizard of Lyrics, N. If Avkin represented sheer beauty of sound, there was another musician out there who took the opposite route of improving music through the streets. His name is N, known these days as the Wizard of Words. In order to truly understand why he got that label, it is important for one to understand the musical trends of the day. As music improved leaps and bounds over the years, another phenomenon that started with this was the fact that people started transcribing old songs from the Parthenon days and beyond onto music scores. And even though these legends and stories have been passed down through songs written by bards that could only go so far, finally there came a time where a group of historians decided to start writing music using their extensive knowledge of the history. Their work was instrumental in the sense that they were keeping the history and legacy intact while reminding everyone of that glorious past. This is where N had left his mark. He was equal parts the historian and the avid spreader of history, and he spent his whole life preaching it with his music. His music matched perfectly with his historically well-versed lyrics, and he was a master at writing easy-to-sing songs that nevertheless carried a heavy message. His lyrics, in particular, were lauded for its clarity and vividness, a poem disguised as a song, stimulating the intelligence of those that were fortunate enough to listen to his songs, so much so that it was the it thing to do for the druids in training and the scholars to listen to his songs. He had decided to become a full druid, and was well on his way to becoming one when he realized the greatness that music carried in our society, and decided to become a musician. Already well-versed in history, magic, and other issues, he studied as a druid in training. He was instrumental in instilling druid characteristics to music of Aaron. His songs may not have triggered much excitement when heard by themselves. His polished lyrics elevated his song's stature, and some musicians point out that he seemed to obsess over lyrics much more so than the melody, which of course made many musicologists question his contributions to music in Aaron. Even with all of this, the reason he has been so highly regarded to this day is because of his attitude toward music, as well as due to his specialty in writing music, which has become embedded in the future generations of musicians that have brought orchestral, especially wind instruments, to the forefront of music in Aaron. His attempts at instilling spell-like effects in music, as well as trying to bring music into the world of wizardry, remain a target of criticism for old-time music purists to this day. Ever since Avkin and N proved that music could trigger changes in emotion, a disturbing trend was begun, where people stopped treating music just for the sake of music, but rather as a means to achieve a certain agenda and nothing more. Actually, this dates way back to the days of the Moitera War. Back then, most bards and druids used music for military purposes. That didn't mean music was used as a weapon nor as a part of a spell, which is still banned by most musicians these days. This, of course, was only meant to inspire troops who were about to embark in battles. Music was used to instill courage and forget fear. That is something with a hidden, more sinister message. The reason why Corporal's greatness has lived on to this day may be because of this. Music may have shifted its focus towards practicality. The music he played and spread were music in its purest, most convincing form, moving anyone and everyone that had a chance to listen to it. Problem here is people trying to instill magical powers to songs. Like in N's case, music was once spread by druids, and because of that, the fact that some druids used it for magic purposes may have been an unavoidable side effect. One of the all-time sinister wizards ever, Zavkiel, especially was a master at that. On the other hand, Morris, the great wizard that put an end to Zavkiel's destruction, believed that although druids could listen to music to understand how society worked, using them for magical purposes was a definite no-no. We're currently at a stage where the very value of music, which involves moving someone's heart, is severely tested. More than ever, we should fight to keep the spirit of music alive, and look back on what our ancestors have done to preserve this art we all enjoy today. Also, like Avkin and N, it's time for us to seriously consider what kind of music we will spread And what kind of legacies we'll want our kids to have from us. Whew! That was a lot. Alright. Oh, I'm like, somebody striking a fox or something? No, it's somebody who's used transform to become the fox. So let's go to Mabinogi, which I have learned is the proper way of saying this place. I actually was looking online the other day for guides on how to pronounce some of the things in this game. And I was surprised at how many there were. You know, a lot of this stuff is just standard, you know, Celtic mythology. Even like all of the towns and such. Mabinogi, Tyrconnell, Snikta, that kind of, you know, this kind of stuff. Terra, Tiltine, you know, She Snakta was how this is pronounced, apparently. So it was very interesting looking up some of these words. Garrick. So She Snakta, though. I never would have guessed. So, but yeah, there's a lot of interesting ways to pronounce names from here. So, hello, Serene, you look wonderful today. Haha. Indeed. Let's see. Where is Louisa's student Neely? What? You read my mentor's book? Aaron's Musicians? I see. I don't know how my mentor Lois is doing. To be honest, I have actually been excommunicated from him. He's essentially the pillar of the old school of thought. It's like a slap in the face for him to have a student like me. You know, a student who is obsessed with putting a magical element in music. That's right, I have quite an interest in using magic effects within music. But I don't think my thinking is wrong. If a bard can't help those who really need help with their music, because of their stubbornness for the purity of music, I believe that is wrong, first and foremost, as a human being. Humans have such a limited lifespan. Is it meaningful in and of itself if you can help even one person with your gifts? They say magic effects take place in scores that are written by people with a high musical knowledge rank and composing rank. If you happen to be interested in music knowledge, why don't you try composing? Thank you for showing interest in magical music. If you want to compose magical songs, your composing skill needs to be at rank 9. In order to perform it, you need to raise your play instrument skill to at least 9 as well. Till then, I can't really help you. Yay! Now we can hit music and advance to rank 9. Our compose and our music knowledge are both rank 9 now. So now we actually need to go talk to Effie at the Quilla base camp in order to push this up further. And as you can see, my play instrument and my song are both rank 8. So I need to push my compose and my music knowledge up by about 2 more ranks. So that's something that we probably want to go do, is go ahead and start working on those. But that said, I do believe this is a good spot to end off. In the next episode, I think we will take our first trip over. I believe it's our first trip. I don't think we've ever gone to Iria in the series so far. If we ever have, it's been minor at best. So, but yeah, I hope if I have, then, you know, we've been there, but I don't remember being there, so. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, feel free to subscribe. Check the video description down below for a link to the playlist. That way you can get caught up on any episodes you might have missed. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. See you later.